It's happening once again, and this is scary. This could be bad. Now, it's not Bitcoin specifically, it's actually something within Bitcoin that could be quite bad. We have news from BlackRock, from Coinbase, from Baton. There's so much going on right now. You don't want to miss anything. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, you might notice we are a bit in the dark. It's a little bit earlier than usual here, but the Bitcoin baby only let us sleep about 4 hours, so I've been up a little bit, been catching up on what's happened in the market overnight, so I thought I'd record this. It's not like you really care about my face anyways. So let's get started. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link to Bydfi underneath the video. There's also a link to BLOFIN and WEEX. All three of those different exchanges have trading competitions going on right now, which is just free money for doing your normal trading. So you can get anything from like a Rolex watch to a Cybertruck worth of USDT. So you can do whatever you want with it. You can go buy Bitcoin with it or buy those items if you want. But again, it is dependent on your trading. Now, let's start here. Before we get into what BlackRock did, what Coinbase did, some news about the US, and yeah, before we get into all that, Bitcoin Sessions was just kicked off YouTube. Bitcoin Sessions is a channel that has even more subscribers than I have, and they basically do tutorials, or they used to. I haven't looked at their recent stuff quite as much, but their most popular videos, all tutorial videos, like how to use Ledger, how to do this on Bitcoin, how to send a transaction, that kind of thing. And they were kicked off YouTube for harmful and dangerous content. Now, we've talked about this. This has been happening more and more recently with different channels. Connor Kenny's channel had that happen to him. Levi, who talks about XRP. At first, I thought it was more altcoins, but now it's even Bitcoin-only channels, which is just, I feel like it's dangerous because these are automated boots off of the system and automated suspensions of channels. And it's been very difficult to get anyone to manually look at your channel. Like Connor Kenny, he wasn't even kicked off, but he's just demonetized completely. So no ad revenue on the channel. This can be discouraging to new people that could provide a lot of value to the space, and it can be discouraging to people that are providing value now. What can you do? Well, there is a link to my Telegram. It's the third link down. In case I get kicked off here, I can still message on there, and it's just a group, so it's just me writing to you, and there it's kind of like a newsletter, but just in Telegram. So if you want to join that, you can. Also, you can follow me on Twitter too. I repost when there are different people that have their channels taken down, and we try to gain some community support. So I think those are probably the two best ways. I do have a Rumble link too at the bottom of the description. In case something happens to my YouTube, I will post over there as well. Now, getting over to the important stuff, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still sitting at the same price it has been for the last few days. Of course, the S&P 500 hit new all-time highs yesterday. The NASDAQ hit new all-time highs. Very bullish. All these people were, thinking that was the end of the world. I know people personally that thought that their retirement was going to be destroyed because of what Trump was doing with tariffs. Now they're, well, I don't want to say they're rumors, but Trump said that the deal with China is done. Right? They signed it 2 days ago. EU just said yesterday that they're willing to make a deal. They're ready to make a deal too with the US. The tariff suspension should be done on July 9. So we have a couple more days to ink some deals or to push back the deadline as well. We've heard a handful of times that there are going to be deals in the coming weeks, and that was a month ago or so. So hopefully we get some more deals. I think that would provide more clarity to the market. Of course, inflation has been quite low. We have PCE coming in a few hours from the time of this recording. So we'll look at that. I'm sure I'll make a video later today going over that. But inflation's been down significantly. GDP came in and it's lower than expected as well. The fact is, inflation does not look like it's a problem right now. So the Fed does have the firepower to start cutting rates. If they want to, they can make sense of cutting rates. They can make the argument. which I think they should at this point, even if it's just a quarter point, like a quarter point, wait a meeting, a quarter point, wait a meeting, like start cutting now, because it can be too late at some point, right? So we have deals getting done. We have the possibility of rate cuts here soon. We have big purchases still happening every single day. Bhutan, the Kingdom of Bhutan, is mining Bitcoin. They might be buying Bitcoin as well, but they're mining Bitcoin. Their Bitcoin is worth $1.4 billion. Now, this is 40% of their GDP, which is insane. If the US had that, we'd be sitting on $12 trillion of Bitcoin, which is well over what Bitcoin's worth. It's like 6 times what Bitcoin's worth. If we sat on 1/10 as much as Bhutan in terms of our GDP, if we sat on 4% of our GDP in Bitcoin, that'd be $1.2 trillion. It's crazy, right? It's insane to think about how much of their GDP is in Bitcoin. And while I don't think the US will ever get to 40%, I think it'll be too late unless Bitcoin is the new denominator and everything's priced in Bitcoin, and the US has been stacking for years and years. Unless we get to that point, we're never going to have 40% Bitcoin, but we don't need that. We just need some. We need more than China, Russia, etc. And we have the ability to do that. As a global reserve currency, we can, other countries can do this too, but you can print and buy Bitcoin, which they're not planning on doing now. They're talking about more budget neutral ways of buying Bitcoin or acquiring Bitcoin. But still, this shows how crazy what BlackRock is doing. Yesterday, they bought 1,500 Bitcoin. The day before that, it was like 3,000 Bitcoin. They're buying 10,000 Bitcoin a week. We look at Bhutan and we say, wow, they have $1.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's insane. But BlackRock is acquiring this every single week and more. So yeah, BlackRock has been a massive game changer for Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, massive game changer. Coinbase called out yesterday. David Bailey said that they're OGs, that Brian Armstrong is an OG. And congratulations, they hit all-time highs yesterday. Remember, they IPO'd years ago, kind of peaked at the peak of the last market and then fell right away, right when they came to the market. Now they're at all-time highs. Brian wrote back that they are acquiring more Bitcoin. They're acquiring more Bitcoin every week. Interesting. So many companies acquiring Bitcoin. Now, Coinbase's Bitcoin is pretty minimal compared to what they're worth. I think they have 10,000 Bitcoin. Maybe, yeah, they have 10,000 Bitcoin. Maybe they've acquired more aggressively recently, but it's a pretty small percentage of their market cap. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts underneath the video. I asked last video if you guys had any guesses who was coming to the House here soon. A lot of people said Connor Kenny. 1 or 2 people got it right. It's not Connor Kenny. It's not Tyler Hill. Let me know if you have any other guesses down below in the comment section. Again, you can check out the Telegram below as well. It's totally legit. Just be careful of scammers in the comment section. I'll pin the Telegram and it'll be in the description, but that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, you can check out BYDFi, BTCC, BLOFIN, WEEX. All have trading competitions going right now and deposit bonuses. Yeah, we'll talk soon. PC coming in soon. Should be interesting. Bye.